Now, last year I had the awesome opportunity of driving my dream car, which had a 0 to 62 time of around 3.5 seconds. However, this car that I have here right with me today has a similar 0 to 62 time. Oh, that is brutal! But it's £65,000 cheaper. So you can kind of see why this caught my eye. So yes, this is the Volvo EX30. Now, I have been using this car for the past week and it's been great fun. There are a few things that I wanted to kind of address and bring to people's attention, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but for the most part, this is an incredible EV. So before we get into any of that and how it drives and that sort of thing, which I will add is very, very good, I kind of wanted to cover the exterior and the interior and all the gadgets on the inside as well, because there's gadgets in this car that you wouldn't normally find for this sort of price point of an EV. And speaking of, let's go through the price. These start at just over £30,000, although I will add the one I have here is their highest specification, so the fastest electric motor and the top package that Volvo offer. From a price point for an EV starting with a 3, that's quite good. Now, as with all EVs, they don't typically have a grille on the front, one with holes anyway, just because they don't require any air intake as such, so it's completely flat across there. And because of this, it does actually catch quite a lot of flies, I've noticed, so it's almost like a fly cemetery. But I would probably just opt for a like a darker colour paint. Certainly I've got a white car at the moment, so I probably wouldn't go white again. I'd go for like grey or black or something, but yeah, one thing I'll mention on that. Now, as with all EVs as well, they also have lots of aerodynamic channels and channeling all that air over there, and if you look through, you can actually see the tyre through there as well. But yes, they all do this just to keep that drag coefficient factor down and of course increase their range. Now, when it comes to the lights are very unique as well, so they have these kind of rectangular kind of lines going across this way, and they look really, really futuristic actually. Now, for the colours, there are 5 colours to choose from. Of course, this is white, or what Volvo call crystal white. There's also 4 interior colours as well, which you can choose. And all of them do look quite nice, actually. I kind of like to see them all back to back in a row. But from the photos online, they do look really good. Now, when it comes to the size of the car, it's a bit of a tricky one because I would actually describe it more almost like a hatchback. It kind of is a hatchback, but it's also kind of a crossover as well. So crossover being that midway point to an SUV. But it kind of is raised, and mainly because that's where the battery goes underneath to keep the kind of central gravity kind of as low as possible. But yeah, it is kind of hatchback size. It's just raised slightly, so it's kind of like a crossover as well. Speaking of the dimensions, length 4,233 millimeters, width 2,032 millimeters, and height 1,550 millimeters. So yeah, it's not a particularly big car. Of course, it being Volvo's kind of entry-level EV, it is certainly very easy to park, especially with the all-round cameras, which I know is on this particular car. But yeah, it's very, very easy to park in car parking spaces. Nice and easy to get in and out. It's not too low down to the floor as well. But if you pay close attention to the mirrors as well, there's a few unique designs on this, just kind of giving that kind of elegant feel. So normally, if you like buy a TV, for example, you know the bezels, the borders around the outside. Look at the kind of frame on here. You'll notice that the glass is actually kind of protruding a bit more, so you don't see that bezel so much. I have seen that on interior mirrors as well. In fact, it is very, very similar here. But I think it's quite nice. It's just a little bit different. It means you have more glass and more visibility on the left and the right of the car. And then even on the rear of the car, I've got to say it looks really, really smart, especially the two-tone kind of colour combination, black all the way up here and then all the way down on the sides there and underneath the windows, all in high gloss black. I do quite like that. It was even present on the Volvo XC40 that I reviewed recently as well. So it's good to see it's even on their entry-level EV too. Rear light design, all these rectangular ones following the similar design on the front, and of course a big Volvo badge there all stretched out on the back. And of course EX30 printed up there just on the back panel. So yeah, now we need to go through the boot. So yes, the boot is of course on the smaller side, but there again, this is a smaller car. So it's 318 litres as you see here right now, but it can go up to over 900 litres if you fold the seats down, which again is pretty cool. There is also a bit of underfloor storage space as well, so we can access that just by lifting that up. And yeah, a little bit of space there. What you can also do as well, if you take out this mat and pull this towards you, you can actually lower that all the way down like that. So then you've got like, I don't know, about that much more space. So again, that's pretty good. Now, in case you're wondering, does it fit? Well, Volvo actually have a diagram up here saying, will it fit? with various different dimensions and things, from pushchairs and suitcases and different items and a light and even golf bags as well. So yeah, I guess they've got you covered on that front. Oh, and before I forget, there is a Frunk. It is only 7 litres though, so it is quite small, but hey, at least there's a bit of storage space in the front here just in case you need to put something else. Maybe a charge cable could go there or something. The one, maybe you've got a tethered one at home and don't need to use the charge cable too much. So yeah, they could sit in there. There's even designs here. That's quite cool. The car, the trees, like a maybe pine forest, clouds, and I'm not sure what the animal is an elk or something, but yeah, cool. Right, well, let's move on swiftly to rear seats. Okay then guys, so here we are in the rear seats. Now as you can see, that is set up for my driving position and there isn't that much leg room in here, and I would imagine, I think from the looks at the floor is quite raised as well, which is causing my legs to go up like that. Now I will add, I do have very long legs anyway, so that does naturally happen in a lot of cars, but yeah, I can see the floor is slightly raised. I'll probably adjust this seat to see how far forward I could sit in there, being 6'2" with long legs, and then sit here again, see how far I can move it. But yeah, in terms of everything else in the back here, I've got lights here. I think that's like an accessory where you can like divide it off. So maybe if you've got like dog or something, you can put like a net here or something. But no center armrest. No center armrest. Okay. Also, you can fold the C-sound 60-40 split as we saw. This is a bit different. 2 USB-C ports here, but then the rear window switches are here, so there's not actually anything on the doors. The handle's obviously there, which I've got to say the design is quite nice on that as well. Same for the front, but yeah, window switch is not on the doors. It's just here. Bit different in the center console. But yeah, there's actually loads of storage in there as well. In fact, you can even take that out look as well. It's got the same designs from the front Frunk. Okay, well let me move that seat forward and we'll see how much legroom there is if I move it as far forward as I can. Cool, so that's the driving seat moved as far forward as I can, still safe for driving just about, and then that's sat behind myself. So yeah, my legs and knees are still touching. There is still that kind of obviously raised floor going on there, but hey ho. At least you can actually get adults in there. I just probably wouldn't say it'd be good for a long journey, but yeah. Alrighty, okay, well let's have a look at the front where all this gadgetry and tech is, and a lot of it is really, really impressive. Okay, right then guys, so front seats. Now I'll put my seat back to my driving position just for now, but yeah, let's talk about the design of the front. First things first, you'll notice how minimal everything is, and there's quite a few elements taken from, I'd probably say Tesla, because look, there's no instrument cluster, nothing here, no head-up display, and a central screen. You know what car that's taken from, or the design and inspiration from anyway. So you've even got up here, this is where your speed is. So yes, there's no instrument cluster, no indicator of your speed here. You see it here. Now, in case you're wondering, in case that's negative, it's not. You do get used to it within a couple of days, and having driven a couple of cars before with that sort of design setup, it's easy to adjust back to it again. So it takes you like a day or two to get used to it, so pretty easy. Now I will come on to more of this multimedia system in a minute, so yes, this is of course a portrait screen, but yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's talk about the design, materials and build quality and that sort of thing first. Now when it comes to this car, Volvo have pledged and put a load of information on their website about the use of recycled materials and that sort of thing, just to try and help with the environmental impact of making cars. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, when you make a car, you're either burning fuel or you're having a lithium-ion battery put in, and of course using all this energy. And what Volvo have done with this is basically just use as many recyclable materials as possible. And to be fair, they've done a really, really good job. There's lots of nice squidgy materials everywhere. Not so much of that cheap plastic stuff, although there is some of that kind of stuff on the bottom of the doors. I will add, although some elements down lower, so like on the doors and down here and down here, things you don't necessarily touch every day, none of it rattles. It is as tight as a drum when you're driving, and we will get on to driving in a minute, which I mentioned at the start. Is very, very good. It is so quiet in here. Now in here, you'll also notice that there are these different Scandinavian ambient light themes you can choose. Now obviously, I can't really show it during the day at the moment, but you can see some examples here, Northern Lights and a few others. They look really, really cool, and the lights do change. Although they're sped up on these here, they do change over time as well. It's just that kind of ambience. It's not too much in your face like some other car manufacturers I've covered, and of course you can tone it down, but yeah, just nice and subtle, just kind of lighting up a few areas around the car. Now, as I mentioned, the one I have here is on their Ultra package, so this has basically every option ticked. And one of those things is Harman Kardon, and it has this kind of like sound bar that goes across here. And I've not seen a sound bar in a car before, and when I read that, and I was like, oh no, is it going to like sound really like centralized? And I don't even have a soundbar at home on our kind of lounge TV and stuff, just because it kind of consolidates a lot of that sound in the middle. But actually, it's really good. It's one of the best sound systems I've heard, and Harman Kardon, they're really, really good. So yeah, if you're worried about like sound quality, it's really good. No rattly panels or anything like that. As I said, it is as tight as a drum, even when it comes to music quality as well. But yes, we'll have a little tour. So on the bottom of the doors, nice big door bins. As I mentioned, it is plastic down there. Down here we have kind of a big kind of crevice of a storage area down there with 2 USB-C ports for charging. So that was 2 in the back, 2 in the front here, and then we've got wireless phone charging here, which is quite good as well. And these kind of rubber mesh things to hold your phone in place. And I will explain, you do need that, because if you put your phone here, it can fly that way. And the storage actually goes back quite far down there, back to the rear bit that we saw earlier. But yes, as we saw at the rear, there are no window switches. So you have this very like unique design here. And yeah, I quite like this actually. It's very nice. You've got a nice chrome door handle just there, so very unique, but no switches on the side. It's all done in the middle. So this is completely different to what I've seen before, but yeah, literally windows in the middle there like that. If you're going to do the rear windows, there is a button here to press, and then you use that same switch to do the back. I remember Volkswagen did this, and some people said they didn't like that, so I thought I'd just mention it. I personally don't have an issue with this because I never really put my rear windows down anyway, but there is an extra step to do the rear windows, so worth noting. And then the other 2 buttons here are unlock and lock for the entire car, so nice and easy. Now this center console here also has another trick up its sleeve, and that's if you press this, the whole thing comes out, because obviously notice before, this is a big area here and contributing to that kind of airy openness. You can opt to have your cup holders out like this. So yeah, and if you don't want to use it as a cup holder, you can slide the cup holders out of the way. I do like that. Yeah, very good. And as well, if you didn't like how big that is and how far it protrudes because you can't easily get stuff down there, don't worry, Volvo thought of that. Just have one cup holder. Pretty cool. And then you've still got this open airiness feel down here as well. And again, even though when this is out or anything like that, there's no rattling whatsoever. So it's silent in here when you're driving. Now for the keen-eyed viewer, you might be thinking, Nick, where's the glove box? Well, actually, if you look over there, there isn't one. That's because there isn't a glove box over there. There is one, however, in the middle. And again, this is where some kind of Tesla kind of inspirations have come from. A lot of controls are done on the screen, including opening the glove box. Be you ready? It's in the middle. So it means the driver can access it as well. Saves you having to lean over and grab stuff. But yeah, nice little glove box in there. I still don't know why it's called glove box, because I have never put gloves in there. But hey ho, topic for another day, I guess. So yeah, all round really good. I guess final thing to cover is the steering wheel, and then we'll go on to the multimedia system. Now the steering wheel is a unique shape. It's kind of got this kind of almost like square design to it. It's almost a bit like a yoke that Tesla have offered on some of their cars, but then it's completed that roundness. But so it's called a steering wheel, but obviously it's not completely round. It's kind of just got a square design. And again, I really like it. The steering is very light in this, which is good, which we'll see on the drive in a minute. They are touch buttons though. Annoyingly, they're not physical buttons, but again, at least you're not accidentally going to brush them, because you actually have to press them to do things. You don't accidentally swipe things. Me doing this here isn't going to do anything here. You have to actually press it. So I guess that's one good thing. And then finally, climate control, which is all done on the multimedia system. So let's go through that now. So yes, climate control was all controlled just down here on this multimedia system. So we'll go through that first, then we'll go through the rest. So you basically tap this and then you can control all of it on here. So I've just switched it all on so we can see how it works. So basically the climate control is all controlled either in the fan, that's where you can control, turn it on, auto, manual, climate off, and do all the fan speed and that sort of thing, Or if you go onto the middle bit, this is where you can adjust your temperature for, driver and passenger, and of course control the heated steering wheel and heated seats. Yes, there is an option for heated steering wheel as well. This whole multimedia system is basically a small Android kind of operating system running on here. And if you go to the apps, you'll recognize a few of the icons: Google Maps, Play Store, YouTube as well, Google Assistant, all built in. Which again is really, really good. The only thing I will add, and this is slightly annoying at the time that I'm reviewing this car today, so this is the 29th of June, there is no Apple CarPlay, annoyingly. But there is Apple CarPlay apparently coming soon, and I read on Volvo's website it's literally any day now, which is rather annoying because I couldn't test that because I don't know how big of a screen it's going to be. I hope that it's going to be kind of in this bit where the map is here. I hope that's where Apple CarPlay is going to be. I find it really annoying if it was any smaller than that. I mean, hopefully it will go even bigger than that, but yeah, sadly I can't test Apple CarPlay because it's not out yet, so slight negative on that one. No Apple CarPlay at the time of recording right now, so just double check with Volvo as to if it's on there yet. It's going to be an over-the-air software update apparently that's due any day now, so knowing my luck it'll probably be next week, and by the time that you're watching this it'll be out. But yeah, at the time of recording there is no Apple CarPlay. I believe it'll be an icon listed on that screen. So with all of that in mind, I think now is the time to take this car out for a drive, and this is one of my favourite parts about this car. Okay guys, so on the open road. Now, one thing I hinted at earlier is the ride quality. It is buttery smooth. It is beautiful. In fact, I would even compare the ride quality of this, so this is like the suspension and everything, how it handles the road and the bumps, kind of perforations in the road. I would compare this to like a car double, if not triple, this car's price. It's so smooth. And of course, everything in here, as I mentioned earlier when we were going through all this in here, it is as tight as a drum, even though there are like kind of plastics down here. So for example, there's no one behind me at the moment. This is 10 miles an hour. And if I just take that air conditioning off just for the second. $20. And 30. And just for argument's sake, we'll do 40 as well. It's so quiet in here. You could literally whisper. So quiet. Now I'm going to have to slow up here anyway because there are some horses or cow. No, they're horses. Horses in the middle of the road, so we'll slow back up. But yeah, the suspension in this car is so smooth. Now I'll get on to more about the power delivery in this car in a second as well. But there are different kind of electric motors you can go for. So there's a single electric motor, then there's one with an extended range, and then there's the kind of high performance one, which is this one. And the performance of this car is out of this world. It is incredible the amount of performance that this car has. So 0 to 62 time is insane. And these horses have gone to the side of the road and now they're deciding to walk out in the middle. Well, while we're waiting, let's run through those electric motors. So for starters, you can get one with 272 horsepower, that's 5.7 seconds 0 to 62. The extended range version, same horsepower, 272, but 5.3 seconds. So it must be a slightly different electric motor or something. And then the high performance one, which is the one I have right now, that's 428 horsepower with a 0 to 62 time of 3.6 seconds. That is insane. Now charge times are also 10 to 12 hours on a home wall box at home, just like this. So I use an Omi Home Pro, which basically means I can schedule in cheaper charging at night time. So instead of being, I don't know, like 10, 20 pounds to charge, depends of course how much electricity you pay, I'm paying like £5 a charge. So really good considering I don't own an EV. When I do have one, of course I need to charge it up, and I can charge it up for a lot less, considering it's not my car. However, if you do want to charge in public, there is also the DC rapid charging. So this will top out at about 175 kilowatts. That would be about a 26-minute charge, roughly speaking anyway, 10 to 80%. But yes, I did actually use rapid charging the other day because I actually had an issue with charging at home. So when I went to plug this car in, I noticed it was going to take 12 hours or 10 to 12 hours to charge. And I thought, oh no, is my charge point not working? I've only just had it installed. But actually, it was a bit of buggy software on this. So in one of the menus on here, you can actually limit the charging speed for garages with like electrics that aren't like as powerful, or you need to limit it for some reason. But for some reason, I had it off and yet it was still limiting the charge. So that's rather annoying. Hopefully that Volvo will bring out a software update or something like that. Now, just saying, this has been one of my favourite EVs to drive, and I'm actually going to be gutted that this is going to be going back. I wouldn't mind this EV. This EV is actually really, really cool, and I actually sat down on the configurator looking at one. So that whole buggy software thing doesn't put me off completely, and I know that I mentioned there's no Apple CarPlay as of yet. I know from the sounds of it it's coming, so hopefully they're going to update that kind of charging thing as well, because it also appears I'm not the only one who's had this problem, because it's been online as well. There's a few people who've had that same issue. The way I got around it is basically just toggle it on, put the ampage to 32 amps and then turn it off, and then it was charging at full speed again. So not sure why it was doing that. Thankfully, of course, they do have over-the-air updates, and this could easily be updated, so hopefully they'll fix that on the next update. Now, this review would not be complete, of course, without a launch to see how powerful this is, and you really, really do have to hang on with this one, because it is so powerful. You have to, if you have passengers in the car, you have to warn them how powerful this acceleration is in this. If I was ordering one for myself, I probably wouldn't opt for this twin motor one, and I just think the single motor with extended range is probably more sufficient than anything else. But yeah, the power in this car. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nick, it's not all about launches and 0 to 62s. No, it's not. But this part right here is quite dangerous. You do need a powerful car to pull out and get up to the motorway speed in, well, what isn't very long at all. And this car should have no problem doing that. Oh look, there goes another EX30. Here we go. Oh my God. That's 70. Wow. It just pulls, like it. You have that surge of acceleration, and then when you think it's going fast enough, it goes some more. Oh dear. I wonder if the person in front there, who's got that EX30's got the performance one like this one. Maybe I should race them. God, I need to do that again somewhere. Now the thing is as well, this is what gets me. That's not as fast as it can go. It can go faster. So in here, there's a mode. If you go into settings and then go to driving, there is an option, performance all-wheel drive, prioritize performance over range. So if I turn that on, it makes the throttle response even more powerful. And why you need that much power, I honestly don't know. I said, I remember when I reviewed a car last year, what was my dream car, and it's £65,000 more than this car, and yet it's the same performance. Why would you? So here, for example, if I pull into this parking lay-by here, there isn't much space for you to get back up to the speed limit for the dual carriageway, because it literally just goes to a motorway down here. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that is brutal! God. Yeah, that was faster. That was way faster. I'm going to turn it off. You don't need that power. Oh, jeez. It hurts your head. Like it's I don't know if any of you who are watching have done the Thought Park, I think it's called Stealth, the one that goes to like 0 to 80 or 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. It's like that, but you can buy it. Yeah, you don't need that power. I think the single motor is powerful enough. Makes me think actually, I wonder what the cheapest 0 to 62 car is that you can buy. I mean, this wouldn't be that far off in terms of the 0 to 62 that you can buy for the money. But yes guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to give out a huge shout out to Ocean Automotive, who helped supply this car. So that's Volvo cars in Poole. They helped supply this car so I can make this video. I literally wouldn't be able to make this video without them, so huge shout out to them. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw, and until next time, see you then.